Hello everyone and welcome back to Herman's retirement tour. I'm not even going to try to pronounce where we're at, but it's time for another legendary matchup with the giant Herman. Oh man, Herman making his way down to the ring, and he is going to be fighting part of the future of the VGIW channel, being mentored by someone who, would have travelled the road with him back in the day, Don Lee. It's Kazumi Yamamoto that Herman will be fighting tonight. Herman, his career has expanded a long time. I actually have, finally, I've been mentioning this for a long time on the channel, I've actually got the records finally sorted. So now I can tell you how about Herman's accolades in the squared circle. Let me find it. Where is it? There it is. Over the course of Herman's decades-long career, Herman is a 7-time world champion. 4 of those reigns are from pre-channel era stuff that you'll see down the line. 3-time TTW champion, 1-time Kitsune Kingdom men's world champion. That is stuff that you'll be seeing when we release the tapes. He is a 1-time VGIW Limitless World Champion, a 1-time VGIW Men's World Champion, and most recently, a Shock Wrestling World Champion. Very impressive stuff if you ask me. Anyway, coming down to the ring now is Kazumi Yamamoto. Kazumi Yamamoto there by his side is another legend of the squared circle, Don Lee. Don Lee was a genuine legend in the squared circle, had a long storied career. Don Lee, a 3-time world champion, another case where you'll see that when we release the tapes. 1-time TTW champion, 2-time Kitsune Kingdom men's world champion, actually won the trios title Don Lee did before retirement, so it's another person who got a last minute championship victory. But Don Lee has been retired for a good 2 years or so, and has been mentoring Kazumi Yamamoto. Kazumi Yamamoto already has won 1 world title reign, becoming a GHK world champion. He's really been rising up the ranks, as he's also been a 2-time hardcore champion and a 1-time VGIW European champion. Kazumi Yamamoto has already proven that he's got a lot of promise. It's going to be about trying to maintain that consistency now for him, but it's clear that Don Lee believes in him and Herman wanting to showcase him. Clearly, there's got to be some belief in Herman that Kazumi Yamamoto has a bright future here on the VGIW channel. Look at this now. Herman there dropping Kazumi Yamamoto. Now, Curtis Burton recently took control of GHK, and I remember the situation with Kazumi Yamamoto was part of that. At one point in time, Kazumi Yamamoto was a free agent, and given that he was a rookie with a lot of promise, the common belief was that Theodore Cornwall, the then leader of GHK, would obviously try and snatch Kazumi Yamamoto up. Given Don Lee had been loyal to GHK for so long, and this was his very promising, student, it seemed like an obvious choice. Oh, look at those beats of the Baldwyn, by the way. Excellent work there. But Theodore, who never liked Don Lee, let his bias get in the way. This meant that, VGIW would snatch up Kazumi for a while, until Kazumi would win the hardcore title and end up becoming GHK World Champion, due to the fact that the hardcore title lets you fight on both brands. It took Kazumi winning it twice, though, because the first time, Theodore actually screwed him out of the title, making sure that Barry Tanner would win it. Kazumi Yamamoto now part of the GHK roster now that Curtis Burton's in charge, and I think that Kazumi could go on to become like a top-level star on the channel. Look at this right now. You're seeing someone who's got that vitality of someone who's young and new to the wrestling business. He's in incredible shape. And of course, he's got someone with decades of in-ring knowledge, passing that on to him, allowing him to be a crazy good... Oh, good lord! ruthlessly efficient. But of course, he's still learning. Even though he's getting that knowledge imparted onto him, that's not the same thing as having those decades of experience. Look at that leg screw there. Don Lee, I think he would have wrestled in this. Oh, I think he's exposed one of the turnbuckles, hasn't he? Yes, he has. Don Lee, I imagine, would have been part of this if he wasn't sticking to his guns. He's staying retired. He's not getting back in that ring. Don Lee did actually, though, did have a rough encounter recently when he was attacked by the Monster and the Warbeast Mammoth. Oh, look at those forearm strikes from Kazumi Yamamoto. Oh, he's looking for his finisher. Holy cow! I'm surprised you didn't bust his kneecaps doing that. 1, 2, 3! Oh, the match is over. That's the first of the 2 out of 3 falls match. Oh, look at that. Oh, knee strike right there. And now look at that. Picking Herman apart here. Oh, here we go. Look at that. Twisting the limbs now. Oh, man. So Don Lee's been a little bit... Don Lee hasn't been able to manage Kazumi lately because, he's an older person now. He had to recover from being beaten up by 2 giants. But Don Lee able to make it for this, getting to watch someone who was a friend, a rival, over decades in Herman, one last time before retirement, before Herman joins him in retirement. Oh, look at that now, using the ropes for leverage there. Don Lee had his last great match against Kazumi Yamamoto in what was meant to be a 1-hour Iron Man match, which ran into overtime as the 2 ended in a draw. Don Lee would ultimately come out on top, but that match, to this day, I believe is the longest on record, disregarding like Regal Rampage matches, aka Raw Rumbles. Like, in terms of just like regular matchups, it may be the longest on record, because I think it took something like nearly an hour and 20 minutes. It genuinely is an incredible matchup, in my opinion, and was a great cap to Don Lee's legacy. And now, Kazumi Yamamoto taking the torch from Herman there. Look at that! 2 times in a row! This 2 out of 3 falls match is going to end at 2-0. There we go. And that's why Kazumi Yamamoto was seen to have a lot of promise here on the VGIW channel. He's still got to, he's already proving himself to be the future, one of the future stars on the channel. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the VGIW channel for more, comment down below what you thought of this match, and we'll see you next time.